Hello and welcome to my channel. Say hi to a happy day. In this channel, I would like to share tales and stories I personally picked and are my kids' favorite book stories. Let's enjoy listening while I read to you a story. Finders Keepers. One beautiful day in Pixie Hollow, Tinker Bell was flying across Cavendish Stream when she caught sight of something strange. Wedged beneath a large branch in the water was an object unlike anything the Tinker Fairy had ever seen. The fairies often found interesting and useful items in Cavendish Stream or washed up on Neverland's shores. So Tink didn't think twice before flying over to investigate. Balancing herself carefully on the branch, Tink pried the mysterious object loose. Tink frowned. What could it be? She wondered aloud. It had a very strange shape and seemed far too large to be useful for anything. All that work for nothing? Tink said sadly. Then she flew off, leaving the odd item behind. Just then, Beck, an animal talent fairy, was hurrying along Cavendish Stream to pay a visit to a squirrel family. Beck was so caught up on her thoughts that she didn't notice the strange object lying on the ground in front of her. "Oh!" she cried as her foot got caught on it. Beck went sprawling. Before she knew what had happened, the acorn she was carrying for the squirrels had flown out of her hands and fallen into Cavendish Stream. "My acorn!" The fairy cried as her gift floated swiftly away. Then Beck looked down at the item that had tripped her. "What's this?" she asked, peering closely. Suddenly, she had an idea. She knew just what the object was, and it was the perfect gift to bring to the squirrel's family. "Look what I've brought!" Beck exclaimed in Squirrel Peak when he arrived at the tree. "It's a squirrel scratcher!" The two youngest squirrels wrestled each other for the chance to be first. "Don't worry, everyone will get a turn," Beck said kindly. Then she held out the scratcher and gave one of the squirrels a little scratch behind the ears. He closed his eyes happily. Beck spent the rest of the morning brushing the squirrels' tails and scratching their tummies. Finally, it was time for her to go. "I'll bring the brush the next time I come," she promised. When she arrived back at the home tree, Beck wondered where she should keep the scratcher. It was far too big to store in her room. At last, she decided to set it near the roots of the home tree. "It should be safe here," Beck said aloud. Meanwhile, back at her workshop, Tinkerbell was having some trouble. She was trying to scrub out a tall, narrow pot that she had just finished repairing, but the pot was impossible to score. "Hi, Tink," said her friend Terence, poking his head in the door. "Are you busy?" "Hi, Terence," replied Tink grumpily. "Come on in." "What's wrong?" asked Terence. "It's this spot," Tink told him. "It's so tall and I can't clean the bottom. My arm doesn't reach." "What you need is a long-handled pot scrubber," Terence declared. "A what?" asked Tink. "A pot scrubber," Terence repeated. Then, drawing in the air, he sketched an outline of a brush with a long handle. "With a tool like that, you could reach all the way to the bottom of the pot," he explained. Tink blinked in astonishment. Terence's drawing remembered her of something. "Come on," she cried, grabbing Terence's hand, "to Cavendish Stream." Not far away, Lily, a garden talent fairy, was resting on a branch of the home tree. She had spent the entire morning scaring shimmer beetles away from her garden. The beetles just loved to eat her beautiful purple flowers. Just as she was about to take a sip of refreshing dew, Lily spotted something below her. "What is this?" she asked as she flew down to examine the object. When she stood it on end, she saw that it was about as tall as a fairy. Suddenly, she had an idea. Lily hauled the object to her garden and planted it in the middle of her purple flower patch. Then she hung dry grass from the bristles of her hair, plucked a flower blossom for a dress, and for good measure added a sun hat. Finally, she drew a face on it in mud. When she finished, Lily hid behind a large pony to watch. Sure enough, after a few minutes, a shimmer beetle flew toward the flowers. But when it saw the fairy standing amid the blossoms, it darted off. "My scarebug works," cried Lily. Back at Cavendish Stream, Tink and Terence had looked everywhere for the pot scrubber, but it was clear that it had disappeared. "I just wish I had known what it was when I saw it," Tink said sadly. "Tink, Terence," Beck shouted as she flew toward her friends. "Hi, Beck," Terence said. "What's the matter?" "I left my squirrel scratcher outside the home tree," Beck replied. "And now it's gone. You haven't seen it, have you?" "No," Tink answered, "but my long-handled pot scrubber has disappeared too." Beck gasped. "Oh no! It seems there might be a thief in Pixie Hollow," Terence said. The friends agreed to split up and search for the stolen items. Beck went to Lily's garden first to look for her missing squirrel scratcher. "Tink, Terence, over here!" she hollered. Tink and Terence followed Beck's cries to Lily's garden. "What is it?" Terence asked. "I found my squirrel scratcher," Beck exclaimed. Tink flew over. "That isn't a squirrel scratcher," she said. "That's a long-handled pot scrubber." Just then, Lily flew up. "Hi, everyone," she said cheerfully. "What do you think of my new scarebug?" "Scarebug?" Tink cried. "That's my pot scrubber." Suddenly, a dark shadow fell over the garden. It was a hawk, and it was diving right for the group of fairy friends. "Look out!" Beck shouted. The fairies scattered. The hawk swooped down and extended its sharp talons and grabbed the scarebug. With a loud screech, the hawk flew away. "Is everyone all right?" Beck asked after a few moments. "I think so," Terence said as he flew out from behind a rose. Tink looked around carefully, then emerged from her hiding place inside a daffodil. Lily came out from beneath a leaf. Then Tink cleared her throat. "I just want to say I'm sorry I tried the pot scrubber." "Me too," Beck said. "A squirrel scratcher doesn't seem so important now. And I don't mind scaring the beetles myself," Lily added. "I wonder what the things is really for," Terence said, scratching his head. "I guess we'll never know," said Tinkerbell. The end. I hope you enjoyed listening to the story, Finders Keepers. Please don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe to listen to more of our favorite book stories. See you soon!